case when you know. Do you ever notice we always agree with people or we always like people when we agree with them?
Yes.
Like we always think they're really smart when we agree with them. And then we don't agree with them, they're dummies. But if we agree with them, that guy's the smartest guy. It's because we love ourselves. You ever notice you marry somebody who you wish you had those qualities to, or you go out with them, or you relate to them? So you admire them because we love ourselves. Our brain loves itself. That's how we evolve. Ah, okay.
Sorry.
Can I move around?
Yeah, move around the stage all you want.
So I'm not that smart, is just what I'm trying to say here. You just agree with me. Serious, I'm not that smart. My mother thinks I need a psychiatrist. I'll pay for him. Yeah, a psychiatrist. But the reason you agree with it, and the reason nobody ever disagrees with me, nobody ever raises their hand when I'm doing talks, I've been doing it for 20 plus years now, nobody ever raises their hand and says, that's wrong. That's not true, what you're saying. Nobody ever says that, because everything I talk about is just common sense. There's nothing complicated about what I talk about, and there's nothing complicated about health. But we overcomplicate it. It's like we got 12,800 different diseases, but the major disease that we suffer from is called overthinkitis. We overthink, and I can tell sometimes when I'm doing a talk, a personal consult with somebody, and they're really sick, and I start to explain to them the simple little steps. I can kind of see doubt in their eyes because it's just too simple. It doesn't make sense that it should be so simple, and my doctor doesn't know this, and the medical community doesn't know this, and the culture doesn't know this. And all you have to do is change the way you eat, or add in a couple of nutritional supplements, or change the way you think. I mean, there's a few things that you have to do, but they're not complicated. Basically, if you have a health challenge, or you want to help out somebody out who has a health challenge, all you have to know about is plumbing. That's all you have to know. If you can understand your toilet, you can understand your body. If you can understand your plumbing, you can understand your body. All disease is clogged pipes. All of it. All of it. 100% of it. Not 99.9. There's not an exception. It's 100% of the time. If you're not as healthy as you want to be, it's because your pipes are clogged. We say on my radio program, how many of you guys have heard my radio program, The Bright Side? How many of you guys have heard me speak before? I don't need to do my introduction, hopefully, right? Anybody who has not heard me speak, who has not heard anything about me? Do you live here now, Darren?
Yes.
Nice. In Longmont?
Not a lot.
Awesome. Awesome. So, just one person. Basically, I'm a pharmacist. I've been involved with, I'm not going to give you the whole story. Probably some of you have heard it 100 times. I've said 1,000,000 times. So I'll give you the whole story. But basically speaking, I got involved with longevity 20 years ago when the company started. A little bit after it started. I met Dr. Wallach, and we hit it off, and I ended up getting involved with the company. I've been involved with it ever since, and it's an amazing company with amazing people. As a pharmacist and a healthcare professional, I'm honored to be part of it. I'm honored to put my name on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, though my name's not on it. I would put my name on it, and I'm honored to talk with it. So that's my introduction. I've been doing medicine, studying medicine since 1982. Imagine. I've been a registered pharmacist since 1986, and I've been studying nutrition all along, and I know a lot about how the body works, a lot about nutrition, but it's not a complicated subject. It is, on our radio program, The Bright Side, we always say, all disease is cell disease. How many of you guys have heard me say that? All disease is cell disease. The biggest mistake medicine makes is it doesn't focus on the cell. It focuses on the stuff around the cell. The body is composed of two parts, like raisin bread. Raisin bread has two parts. What are the two parts of raisin bread?
Bread and raisins.
Bread and raisins, right? But the body's magical. The body's not a loaf of bread. It's a magical loaf of bread where the raisins make the bread. Imagine you had a handful of raisins. Imagine you had a handful of raisins you put on the table. Next day you look and those raisins they made their own bread. And they had raisins. That'd be amazing, right? That's a cell. That's what a cell does. It makes its own bread. We don't call raisins bread. We call cells an extracellular matrix. I say stuff. The tissue, the hard stuff. What do you think medicine works when you're sick? It works on the stuff, not on the cell. The cell can only be poisoned by medicine. The cell can only be imposed upon by medicine. You know, in the Bible, we're in church here. This is awesome. I've always wanted to talk in church. That's pretty cool. In the Bible, why didn't Moses get to go to the promised land? Moses leads the children of Israel in the book of Exodus. He leads the children of Israel through the desert. He does all the heavy lifting. He does all the hard work. He's got to climb up the mountain and he chisels those 10 commandments, and then he breaks them and he gets over the golden calf, and he's got all this stuff he's got to do, and he doesn't get to go to the promised land. Joshua takes him to the promised land. Why is that? What did Moses do that was so bad? Do you know? Oh, who said that? Who said that? He didn't. Not close. God, the children of Israel, they're complaining. They're always complaining. Why did you take us out of Egypt? At least we have food there. Blah, 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 blah. Now they don't have any water. So we didn't have plenty of water in Egypt. Moses, why do you do this? And Moses gets so ticked off and says to God, let's get these people some water. What are we doing? God says, okay, Moses, I want you to go to that rock, and I want you to talk to the rock. I want you to ask the rock nicely, please give us some water. Please give the children of Israel some water, and the rock will give you water. So Moses is having a bad day, and the children of Israel are ragging at him, and he's got a headache anyway, and I don't know if he had a headache first. He's not feeling good, right? So what does he do? He hits the rock. And so God was like, Moses, I know it doesn't seem like much, but I told you to ask the rock, not to hit the rock. The moral of the story is you ask, you don't hit. Prescription drugs in the medical model hit. They don't ask. We hit the body. We don't ask the body. We hit the cells. We don't ask the cells. Cells don't want to be hit, and that's why medicine doesn't work. Medicine is helpless at the level of a cell unless it compels the cell through poison, through radiation, through x-rays, through removal, through electrocution, through things you would never, ever do to anything that you loved or anything that was your friend. It's awful. It's terrible. When I studied it, I was horrified as I was in pharmacy school and I progressed in pharmacy school. I was absolutely horrified by what medicine was doing to human beings. And it wasn't helping them. And then I learned about nutrition. And I saw that all the health challenges that we have somewhere along the line involve a cell not being nutriated. We study nutrition in pharmacy school, except we don't study nutrition like a nutritionist studies it. We don't study nutrition like a dietitian studies nutrition. We don't study nutrition like a doctor or a chef or anybody else studies nutrition. We study nutrition like a pharmacist studies nutrition, which means we study the pharmaceutical, therapeutic aspect of vitamin C, vitamin E, and minerals. We study how nutrients can be used as therapeutic tools, as pharmaceutical tools, as pharmacology. And we study diseases as nutritional deficiencies. On the one hand, I'm studying how prescription drugs are toxic and how we're managing side effects and how we're using other drugs to take care of the first drugs, the side effects caused by the first drugs, this horrifying situation that isn't helping anybody. On the other hand, I'm learning about how diseases are nutritional deficiencies, and how vitamin A can be used to treat blindness, and the B complex can be used to treat blood pressure, and magnesium can be used to treat heart disease, etc. So I'm like, what the heck? This is backwards. Why is this the alternative? Why are the nutrients alternative medicine? So I just made it my business to study nutrition and work with nutrition and help people with nutrition. And the more I did it, the more people got better. I first started doing it when I was working at Kmart Pharmacy right down the road here. Right down the road. It's not here anymore, actually. How many of you guys from Long Born and raised? Remember Kmart? Oh, I was a Kmart pharmacist on Main Street. Not necessarily proud of it, but I was. And in my pharmacy, at Kmart Pharmacy, I started to apply these ideas about using nutrition to help people with their health. And first, I was kind of timid a little bit. So people come in for their antibiotics or their high blood pressure medicine or acne medicine. I'd say, you know what? Maybe you want some zinc to go with that tetracycline or that acne medicine that you're getting. Maybe you want some vitamin A to go with that. Or if they went and became an antibiotic, I'd be like, maybe you want to take probiotic with that antibiotic. Or maybe you want some vitamin C with that antibiotic. And little by little, as I was making the suggestions, people would not only get better, but they would start to wean themselves off the drugs. And so I got a little cocky then, and I was like, why don't you take some vitamin C instead of your antibiotic? Maybe a little magnesium instead of that calcium channel blocker, right? Well, needless to say, Kmart Pharmacy was not thrilled with pharmacist Ben. And sure enough, one day, Mr. Ozier, I'll never forget him, he gets credit for this every time I do a talk. Ken Oger, wherever he may be, he comes into the pharmacy with the security guard, right? Not a good thing. So Ben, come on back. I go to the back room. He looks at me. He goes, Ben, you're just not cut out to Kmart material. Just like that. And I did. I tried not to laugh. I was being fired, but I swear to God, that's what he said to me. And so what I did was I started a pharmacy. I started a pharmacy that was dedicated to skincare. Some of you guys know I'm in the skincare business. It was dedicated to skincare, nutrition, helping people with their skin, and helping people with nutrition, helping people with their skin using nutrition, because the skin responds really quickly to nutrition for better or worse. It responds to bad nutrition and bad food with rashes and allergies, allergic reactions, and pimples, and psoriasis, and eczema, and pretty much everything you can name that goes wrong in the skin, rosacea. And I practice the art of what I call nutritional pharmacy, using nutrients to help people with their blood pressure and their weight, etc. And as the same thing happened in my pharmacy, it happened in Kmart, people got better. And I decided, I got to start telling people about this. I can't just keep this to myself. And I started doing talks. And one day, Dr. Wallach, I met Dr. Wallach. It's another interesting story. We had a mutual friend, and I started becoming part of longevity. And Doc asked me to do his radio show and talks, and the rest is history, as they say, and that's what I do now. So back to our story about the cell. The body is made up of these two components, cells and stuff, and what we miss is we don't address the cell. When we're sick, we address the stuff. We put things on the stuff. We notice the stuff. We notice what we say in medicine, the sequelae. The sequelae means the sequel. It's Latin for sequel or secondary. The symptoms we suffer from are sequelae. They're sequels. They're secondary to primary conditions that are always about the cell. And here's the good news. The cell knows exactly what to do. It's perfect. The first cells appeared on planet Earth 3.5 billion years ago. So a cell has had 3.5 billion years to perfect itself. It's completely perfect. A cell is 1/100th, the average cell, 1/100th the size of the head of a pin. Picture that. And within that tiny little space, you've got millions of working parts. Sit with that for a second. It's even more incredible. Those millions of working parts are constantly shape-shifting. Every split second, these millions of working parts are breaking down and being rebuilt with no input from us. They're doing it on their own. If you took a cell out of your gum or out of your skin and put it in a petri dish, it would do it the same way. These things are so perfect and so amazingly reflective of the divine perfection that surrounds us everywhere that nothing should ever go wrong except with one problem. As perfect as a cell is, it needs three things from the organism that it's residing in, namely us. Number one, this is the only three things it needs. A cell needs to eat, a cell needs to breathe, and a cell needs a clean place to do its work. If it has those three things, it will run perfect. It will never get sick. It will repair itself when it needs to repair. It will grow when it needs to grow. It will divide when it needs to divide. It will do everything perfectly. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to consider it. It does it on its own. Yet we're sick. So clearly there's something wrong. Clearly we're not getting the cell the three things it needs. The food, the oxygen, and the clean place to do its work. So the only three things that can ever go wrong with a cell are starvation, suffocation, and toxification. Period. I don't care if you're talking multiple sclerosis. I don't care if you're talking cancer. I don't care if you're talking heart disease. I don't care if you're talking acne. I don't care if you're talking autoimmunity, whatever. All you have to do to stay healthy is feed the cell, breathe the cell, provide it oxygen, and provide it a clean place to do its work. Now, the cell itself is like a city. You think of it like a city or a metropolitan area. It's got everything a metropolitan area has. Headquarters, capital, it has a defense system, it has a wall, it has everything the city has. And like all cities, it has to live, all cities, all major cities, live near one thing. If it's going to be a successful city, it has to live near what? Water. Biggest cities are always near water, near rivers, oceans, or some kind of water system, because the water system is how goods are moved to and from cities. Likewise, in the body, a cell is like a city, and it has to be near a fluid supply for delivery of nutrients, for delivery of oxygen, for detoxification. And that fluid system is what? The blood. Actually, it's the blood and the lymph, which together make up the circulatory system. We always say all disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. All of it. All cell disease is preceded by dirty blood, and this represents your locus of power, locus of control over your health challenge, whatever it is. Whatever it is, cancer to arthritis, to acne, to psoriasis, whatever it is, it involves dirty blood. And when you clean the blood, sludgy blood, clogged blood, and when you clean the blood, your system will begin, your condition will begin to resolve itself. So first of all, the question is, how does the blood become dirty? Right? How does the blood become dirty? Well, the blood is compartmentalized. It's inside the body. It's within the flesh. By the way, whenever we say anything's in the body, we don't mean in the body, we mean in the blood. So whenever people say in the body, something got in your body, something's in my body, it means it's in the blood. You just say in the body. So how does the blood become dirty to initiate this deterioration process that so many of us are dealing with? Well, how do things get in the blood? Well, you can inject them through your skin, and we know that people who inject things in through their skin are way more prone towards autoimmunity and towards degenerative diseases, mental health problems, probably people junkies for the most part, although vaccines are another way you get things into your blood. The medical model injects things into the blood as well, and we know autoimmunity can follow diseases and all kinds of health challenges, can follow vaccines, and all kinds of health challenges can follow vaccinations. You're all hearing about that because you're getting things right into the blood. But for most of us, we're not injecting things into our skin. So what's the other way things get into our blood? Say it loud. Through your mouth, through the digestive system. And if you listen to Bright Side, my radio program, you listen to my presentations, you do a consult with me, or you listen to me doing a consult, you will always hear me going back to the digestive system and the food. And it's not because I'm a foodie. I'm not. I eat all kinds of crap. That's not the point. You happen to see me eat a piece of pizza, I don't want to hear about it. Oh, it's not bad eating pizza. Well, that's not the point. The point is that this represents a point of power, a place of control you have and we have over our bodies if we're sick. We want to disassociate this idea about bad food, bad person, good person, guilt, all the things that we associate with our eating habits and how we interact with food. Get away from it. Just understand that the food we eat and the digestive system as well represent major points of power. If you're healthy, you may not care. You're like, that hamburger looks great. That Snickers bar is awesome. I want to have that right now. If you're healthy, that's fine. And when you're young, for the most part, we don't care because we're healthy. But if you're sick, this is extremely important because it liberates you from the medical model. This understanding frees you from the doctor. It frees you from the medical interventions that you are going to be subject to if you go there. If we go into their world, if you go into the doctor's world, you're playing by the doctor's rules. You're playing his game. You can't go to the doctor and complain. That's his rules. That's his world. You're in his world. Of course he's going to give you what he's trained to do. It's not his fault. You guys know the story of the frog and the scorpion? No? This frog and the scorpion are walking along, and they come to a body of water, and this frog can swim, and the frog can swim, the scorpion can't, so the scorpion says, hey, let me on your back, and we'll swim across this water. And the frog says, are you crazy? I'm not going to let you on top of my back. You're a scorpion. You're going to bite me. And the scorpion says, don't be silly. If you're in the middle of this body of water and I bite you, you're going to drown, and I'm going to drown. It's going to kill me. I'm not that stupid. Why would I ever bite you? The frog says, I said, okay. And so the scorpion gets on the back of the frog. They go down and they go into the body of water. They get in the middle, and sure enough, the scorpion bites the frog. And the frog is dying. He's drowning. He says, you stupid scorpion, why did you bite me? Now I'm going to drown, and you're going to drown. You killed us both. What were you thinking? And the scorpion says, I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. I'm a doctor. I prescribe. I'm a surgeon. I take gallbladders out. You can't go to the surgeon and say, why do you take my gallbladder out? I'm a surgeon. That's what I do. Well, I can't go to the doctor and bitch and moan about the beta blocker, the calcium channel blocker, the drugs that are affecting your mind and your whatever. And I mean whatever. You can't go in there and complain because that's what they do. But we can be liberated. We can be free. And the only thing that's keeping us from being free is the intimidation of thinking we can't do it on our own. It's the only thing. Because we're just little old us and he's a doctor. Because we're just a simple little person and he knows, he's an expert. I don't know, we abdicate. We give it up. You know how we know that the medical model is so great? Because they tell us. Every turn we learn about it. How they save lives and how they're going to vaccinate us against cancer and Alzheimer's disease and how modern medicine is a miracle. And in a way they're right, because in terms of heroic medicine, which is the medicine of emergencies, they can stitch all kinds of things back on. Right? Wayne Bobbitt? You guys all know what I'm talking about. There's miracles out there. There's miracles out there in terms of what can be done, and that's an amazing thing. That really is an amazing thing. The fact that you have a liver transplant, face transplant, you have a heart put in, a new heart, and live another 10 or 15 years. There's amazing things in the world of heroic medicine. As amazing as the world of heroic medicine is, the world of ambulatory medicine, the world of walking medicine, the world of ambulatory medicine is an utter failure, a complete failure. And we collapse these two ideas together, and we just assume that because the medical model is so wonderful on the heroic side, that it things on the ambulatory side, despite the fact that its failure is hidden in plain sight. I mean, you've got more doctors per capita than any other culture in the history of the planet, and we're the sickest and the most cancer-ridden and the most diabetes-ridden, and every year now, for 3 years in a row, life expectancy has dropped. This is with more doctors, with more drugs, with more devices, with more surgeries, with more molecular understandings of genetics. Clearly, it doesn't work. The medical model may tell us how wonderful it is. It's kind of like that Emo Phillips. How many of you guys have heard of Emo Phillips? Nobody? YouTube Emo Phillips. He's very, very funny. So he has one joke he goes. He has a funny way of talking. I used to think my brain was my most important organ. And I realized what was telling me that. Think about it a second there. It's this idea that the medical model is so wonderful. Who's telling us that? The medical model themselves are telling us that. They're promoting themselves and we believe it. So what we want to understand is that if we're sick, and by sick I mean chronic degenerative disease, there is nothing your doctor can do for you, with the exception of hiding the symptoms. And they'll tell you that right to your face. They'll say there's no cure. That's what that means, there's no cure. And in a way they're right, because cures are magical. We're not talking cures, we're talking reversals. We don't want a cure, we want to reverse. The body is always going this way or this way. If it's going this way, it can go this way. The body can turn on a dime if we turn on a dime. The body's net chemistry is like a bank account or like a business. How many guys are in business? Did I turn it off? No, there is no red light. I don't see no off switch though.
I have that.
Did I die the battery? Can you hear me back there? Okay, you can hear me. Do I need a mic? I don't need a mic. Okay, so I forgot what I was just saying. Oh yeah, how many guys are in business? So in business, you're always spending money, you're always making money. It doesn't matter whether you're spending money or making money. You got to spend money, you got to make money. That's what the way business is. What matters at the end of the day in a business? What does it say? I heard something. Not quite say that louder. The bottom line. The bottom line. So you want to think of your body as a business. The body is constantly breaking down, and the body is constantly building up. In chemistry or in biology or biochemistry, we say the body is constantly anabolic. That means building up, like anabolic steroids. If you hear the term anabolic steroids, anabolism is to build up. Catabolism is to break down. So the body is always anabolic and catabolic. It's always building and breaking down. The key is not whether it's building or breaking down. The key is the bottom line. Is it net anabolic? Is it net in the black? Or is it net catabolic? Is it net in the red? When you're young and you're vital and you're bouncing off of the walls and you don't need any, don't want to take a nap and you're got all of this energy. You ever look at your little kids, Marianne, you look at your grandchild, or I guess she's a little too young for that, but when your kids are like 2 or 3 years old, you're like in awe of them because they got so much energy and they're healing so fast and they're learning so quickly. They're like the best business in the world in terms of they're like Apple. They're like so in the black. It's like crazy. You're in awe of it. And then you go look at grandma, not so much. Or even us. Yes, I know. She's in anymore because I'm a grandpa now, but whatever. Not so much. The point is that as we age, we go from net anabolic to net catabolic. And the disease process is marked by this. We become net breakdown. And to be healthy is as simple as turning it around, going from net catabolism, net breakdown, and net build up. And in order to do that, all you have to do is figure out how to feed the cell, how to breathe the cell, and how to nutriate the cell. And it all starts off with cleaning the blood. And the cleanliness of the blood depends on the integrity of the digestive system and the kind of foods we're eating. The kind of foods we're eating and the integrity of the digestive system are important not because I am David Avocado Wolf, or because if you know who that is, or I'm some health guru about eating organic and you have to only eat the good foods. It's not that. It's as simple as making sure the bloodstream is clean enough to be able to do its business, delivering oxygen and nutrients and detoxification. You will never, ever, ever, ever see a chronic, long-term health challenge, an ambulatory issue, not heroic, not trauma, I'm not talking infection, I'm talking about ambulatory diseases, chronic, they call them chronic degenerative diseases. You will never see one, whether it's arthritis or diabetes or Alzheimer's or whatever, without seeing an underlying digestive problem. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. I'm not talking 99.9%. I'm talking 100% of the time. Now, it doesn't mean that all digestive issues or food issues are going to lead to a chronic degenerative disease, but it does mean that if you have a chronic degenerative disease, it begins in the blood, and if it begins in the blood, it begins in the digestive tract, unless you're an IV drug user or you're injecting a lot of things into your bloodstream through your skin, which is, we're going to discount that. So that means you got to work on the digestive system. Here's the good news. For you in the business, and for you if you have a health challenge yourself, or loved one has a health challenge, that means that once you do a few little tweaks to the digestive system, you can begin the healing process. That's it. And you can see this for yourself, and you should always, by the way, as compelling, as interesting, or as believable as what I'm saying is, by the way, if I say anything complicated yet? Nothing complicated. So as believable as this is, and as understandable as it is, you never want to believe something just because they're telling you this. Trust yet verify. You know the fifth, have you ever read the 4 agreements? How many of you guys heard the 4 agreements? Yeah, anybody know the 4 agreements?
Your word.
Say it, what is it? Impeccable with your word. What else?
Never take anything personal.
Never take anything personal. Good.
Forget that too.
Anybody know?
Always do your best.
Always do your best. Do that. Right on. What's the 5th agreement? Do you guys know the 5th agreement? Yeah, there's another book called The 5th Agreement. It's called Trust Yet Verify. Be skeptical but have an open mind. Always. And so all the things I'm telling you here today, as compelling as they may be, as logical and as much as they make sense, you want to test. I want you to test. So if you have high blood pressure, or you have acne, or you have psoriasis, or you have some kind of health challenge, take a couple days off from food. That's called a fast. Do an intermittent, do a short-term fast and watch what happens. Almost every disease state will have its symptoms start to become relieved. There's a lady, or reduced. There's a lady named Terry Walls who wrote a book called The Walls Solution. And she had multiple sclerosis, and she cured it by fasting and by food elimination, changing the way she ate. If you understand that the way the body becomes toxic is through the blood and through the digestive system, once you stop the stream of toxicity from coming in, you're going to start to feel better. And by the way, that's your goal. Your goal is not to have your diagnosis changed. Your goal is not to cure your psoriasis or cure your heart disease. Your goal is not to cure your cancer if you have cancer. Your goal, and our goal as therapists or as helpers or as healers or as people in the nutrition business, our goal is to help our customers. And if you are a customer, if you're a patient, your goal as a patient is to feel better, to have more energy. Do not let the medical model create the marker for what success is. The medical model will create criteria that they say are success. That's why they'll drug you, and your disease will be gone, but you'll feel like crap. And your symptoms will be, your disease won't be gone, but your symptoms will be released, but you'll feel like crap, and they'll consider that a success. Because they have moved the goalposts. They have made the goal not feeling better, but making your numbers drop. But Doc, I feel terrible, but your numbers are great. You see what I'm saying? Our goal is to feel better, to feel strong, to feel vital, to be able to bound out of bed, to be able to touch your toes, to have joie de vivre, to be able to do your job and play with your kids and not have chronic pain and have more energy. That's the goal. And that is a goal that's achievable not only without prescription drugs, but it's completely not possible with prescription drugs. It's impossible with prescription drugs. It's impossible with surgical procedures. Impossible. But it's completely in the realm of possibility, and it's likely to happen if you use these kinds of strategies that don't involve the doctor, such as food elimination and fasting. So I want you to test this out for yourself. Take a day off of food. Take 2 days off. Then start to notice, when you eat again, start to notice what foods cause symptoms. What foods make symptoms worse. And this requires a body acuity. You have to be able to understand or listen to your body. Our body is always talking to us. Our body, there's a wisdom inside the body. The Bible calls it the still small voice. It's always talking to us. Next time you get your Snickers bar, your cigarette, or your Coke, whatever it is that is going to destroy your health, and you know it is, but you're going to eat it anyway, just take that Snickers bar, open it up real slow, look at that delicious, yummy, chocolatey goodness. And by the way, everything about that Snickers bar is planned to make you eat it by marketers and people with PhDs. Even the sound of the paper ripping triggers your dopamine receptors in your salivary glands. McDonald's, the wrapping, guess what? They know that when you unwrap that Big Mac, you think it's Christmas. Subconsciously. Think I'm kidding you? They know that's a present. That's why we unwrap it. Oh, we can laugh. That's how we are. That's how we're plugged in that way. So that Snickers bar, you think that's not. Immediately, the dopamine receptors go, I'm about to get a reward. And you take that Snickers bar, and you raise it up a little slow, and listen, and you'll hear a voice go, no. Am I right? Have you not heard that voice with the Coke, with the cigarette, with the Snickers bar, with the Big Mac, whatever it is? Haven't you heard that one? No, just like that, right? And what do you say? Oh, shut up, screw you. I don't want to hear from you, right? And you just go ahead and do it. But there's a wisdom built into us. There's an understanding built into us, and we're taught not to pay attention to that. We're taught to ignore that because the doctor knows better. We're taught not to trust our inner wisdom, and mothers and parents and grandparents, you know where it starts? It starts with us. It starts with parents. How many times does a kid hear no? How many times does a kid hear no, don't touch that? How many times does a kid hear you don't know enough? I'm going to tell you, you learn that at a very young age. Don't do that to your kids if you have kids now. And if you're old and you're subject to it, understand that that's the dynamic and that's the mechanism that's going on here. We're taught not to listen to ourselves, not to trust ourselves, not to trust our wisdom, but we really have that built into us because we couldn't survive if we didn't have a built-in wisdom. How do you think yesterday's lunch gets turned into your hand? How does that happen? There's a built-in wisdom that takes care of everything. We just have to cooperate with it. It's built into the cells, it's built into the tissues, it's built into the organs, it's built into the organism as a whole. We have to learn to trust that. We have to learn to listen, to have body acuity. So when you fast, you're going to notice that you're starting to feel better, and when you start to eat again, symptoms are going to arise, but you've got to pay attention to them. And then you do what's called the elimination diet. The elimination diet is, as the name sounds, you eliminate foods. And sorry to say, it's going to be your favorite foods. In fact, if you just want to eliminate foods without doing the fast first, fast is nice because it makes responses more prominent, more dramatic. You notice them more. A lot of times we'll eat, if we, for example, feel tired after we eat bread, and a lot of people do, you don't notice it as much, but if you take a couple days off from food and then you eat bread again, you're going to start to notice. You may get crampy, you may get bloated, you may get constipated, you may get brain fog, you may have skin rashes. Start to notice the relationship between the foods you eat and your symptoms. You will be shocked, and don't try to remember it. Write it down. Now you want to also, speaking to you as if this was you, but you also want to help your clients this way. You always want your clients to be vested in their healing process. You do not want them coming to you like they go to the doctor. You want them vested, you want to empower them. This is what longevity is all about. It's about empowering people, empowering us involved with it, empowering people who want to be involved with it, or people who are outside of us. It's an empowerment business. It's a self-empowerment business. You're here for Super Saturday to get empowered with ideas. Your clients who come to you, or potential clients who are interested in you, are coming to you, get empowered in terms of health. So we want to learn to take the power back, to become powerful ourselves. And this is where the elimination diet becomes important. And we also want to empower our customers or our clients so that they don't depend on us. I always tell people call me, and they call me all the time, put on a program, I always give them this kind of protocol because I want them vested in their healing process. You want them tied into it. You want them associated. So the first thing you do is you say to them, let's work on your digestion. Let's get you intermittent, doing a fast for a day or two, and then do an elimination diet. We write a food diary of an elimination diet. Write everything down. If your client doesn't want to do that little bit, that's going to be a difficult client. If they don't want to do that little bit to free themselves from the medical model and to live add years to their life and to feel better and to turn their health challenges around, that's going to be a difficult client. There's still to do stuff, but you want to get a really good client, you want to invest them. You want them to see what's going on, and this is the second thing a food diary and elimination diet will do, is it will get them to actually see how their lifestyle is affecting their health. Most people don't recognize this, that their choices are affecting their health, not in a bad way, but in a good way, because it means they have power through their choices to affect their health. It doesn't mean in a blame way, it doesn't mean in a guilt way, it means in an empowerment way. You now have choices. You're making choices. You're just choosing, and you have to be diplomatic when you say it, but in a way you're choosing to be sick. If you understand this mechanism, you can't go out right out and say that, but that's in essence what's happening. And the third thing is, it shows them you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about, because they're going to see, oh my God, every time I have bread, I get tired. Every time I have milk, I get constipated. Every time I have sugar, my blood pressure goes up. They're going to start to see things, and you're going to become a go-to person. You're going to become a resource for them. So in the first place, number one, invest this food diary and elimination diet, focusing on the digestive system, invests your customer. Number two, it really works, so it makes you sound it makes them see you as an expert, which you are, relatively speaking, no matter how little you think you know, you are an expert. And third of all, shows them how their choices are affecting their symptomology. Their choices are affecting their lifestyle, not in a bad way, but in an empowering way. So you have to do a food diary. All the systems will start to improve. Then you can really start to work. The next thing you want to do is you want to get people on the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. Once they've got the digestive system patched up, you want to get them, and they recognize the impact of foods on their health and their digestive health, on their overall health, you get them on the Mighty 90. If you don't want to do the Mighty 90, at least Beyond Tangy Tangerine. One of the beautiful things about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is it's dense with nutrition. What this means is people will get instant results. I mean instant within a day. Because most people are so nutritionally deficient that they got to reach up just to hit the curve. They are so underneath, they're so below zero, they got to get on supplements just to get to neutral, just to get to zero. And the beautiful thing about the human body is the more deficient we are, the faster our body absorbs nutrients. This is so cool. This is your secret weapon. This is Dr. Wallach's secret weapon. This is longevity's secret weapon. This is why longevity has grown the way it has grown. This is why longevity is still around 20 plus years after it started, when most multi-level companies are long gone at 5 or 6 or 7 years. It's because most people are so starving that as soon as they put nutrients in their body, it's like a dry sponge sucking up water. Their body sucks up those nutrients like a dry sponge will suck up water. And they get quick results. Carry around a little packet of Beyond Tangy Tangerine, keep a couple of jugs around to give to people or to sell to people. Even if you sell it to them at a discount, you lose $5 or $10. The sicker that person is, the faster they're going to notice results. The more diseases they have, the more breakdowns they have, the faster they're going to recover. This is especially true for people in nursing homes or people who are ultra frail. Ultra frail people or people who are in nursing homes get the most dramatic results, almost like, do you ever forget to water your plant for a couple of days and it's parched and you look at your plant and it looks all sad and droopy, and then you take the water and you pour it in the dirt, and almost like as you're pouring the water in the dirt, you're like looking at the plant and it's like blossoming in front of your eyes. And you're like, that's got to be, can't be real. That's got to be psychological or something. It must be diluted because it happens so fast. That's how fast people start to get results when they put water-soluble nutrients in their body in the form of Beyond Tank Tangerine. Now, Beyond Tank Tangerine is an awesome product, but you will, sometimes people have some resistance to it because of the taste, number one, and because of stomach problems that happen, number two. So here's what you do. You tell your clients to object to the taste, to sip on it, to put it in water and drink it slowly throughout the day, and then do it a second time and a third time. The taste is strong, and it's much better off for you anyway to do it slowly, because that way your body can have a chance to absorb the water-soluble nutrients without urinating them out. So you always want to deliver small doses over the course of time. That's just the general rule for pharmacy. You always want divided doses or slow doses. The second thing that happens sometimes is people can't absorb all those nutrients at the level of the intestine, and the stuff just pulls water through, and they get crampy and bloaty and diarrhea. You hear it in these problems, and they won't take it. Smaller doses. This is not a Beyond Tank Tangerine problem, it's a dose problem. So you always want to keep the dose smaller. The best times to do your Beyond Tank Tangerine are first thing in the morning, especially if you have blood sugar problems. Most people who have blood sugar problems know that their blood sugar is denser, it's more concentrated in the morning. Your blood sugar is higher. How many people take your blood sugar? Test your blood sugar. Anybody here? So you know first thing in the morning it's more concentrated. Do your Beyond Tank Tangerine first thing in the morning. The next best time is with meals. The nutrients in Beyond Tank Tangerine should be in your foods, but they're not. Foods should be self-digesting in the sense that the nutrients in the food help you digest the foods. We don't have that today because of the soils and because of processing, because of cooking, etc. Sip your BTT with your meals. It'll help you get the nutrients and the energy out of the food more efficiently. And then the third time to do your Beyond Tank Tangerine is when you have some kind of stressful event happen, or athletic event happen, or a test if you're a student. The more nutrients you have in your body, especially the water-soluble nutrients and electrolytes, the better your body's going to respond to what's happening in the environment. All right, so the second element of the Healthy Start Pack is the Ultimate EFAs. The Ultimate EFAs are your anti-inflammatory and inflammatory nutrients. They're your nutritional aspirin, your nutritional Motrin. They're also your nutritional estrogen. They're also your nutritional statin drug. They're also your nutritional growth and anabolic substance. Essential fatty acids help you grow. Essential fatty acids help your female hormones work more effectively. Essential fatty acids lower your cholesterol just like a statin drug. And essential fatty acids control inflammation and anti-inflammation, the molecules of inflammation and anti-inflammation. And sound important, these essential fatty acids? You bet they're important. Guess what? They're not really in foods. It's very difficult to get them from foods unless you're eating a lot of fish and a lot of seafood and a lot of grains that are unprocessed. Then you have the problems with the grains. It's very difficult to get dense amounts of essential fatty acids. My favorite organ is the skin. I've been studying the skin for many years. And the skin is one of the most obvious places essential fatty acid deficiencies will show up. They'll show up as rashes. They'll show up as dry skin. They'll show up as eczema. They can show up as psoriasis. They can show up as strange reactions to foods, allergic reactions to foods. Essential fatty acids stabilize the way skin cells grow and the way the skin's immune system reacts. So anybody who has a skin issue, no matter what it is, but particularly inflammatory skin issues, that's the skin begging for essential fatty acids. Do you know human skin should never be dry? Skin moisture factors come from essential fatty acids. Dry skin is a sign, not of the wrong moisturizer, it's a sign of essential fatty acid deficiency. Now, it's not quite as simple as taking fast because you've got to make sure your digestive system is working correctly. We'll talk about that here in a second. But you can rest assured that if you have dry skin, and nobody's supposed to have dry skin, you've got something going wrong with your fats, probably intake, although, like I say, absorption can be a problem too. Moisturizing has always struck me as being really interesting. And knowing the skincare business as well as I know it, it's sort of like an icon of how wrong we treat our bodies, how the misunderstandings we have about our bodies. Do you know in this country we sell $180 million in moisturizers every year? $180 million in moisturizers. You would think nobody ever had dry skin because we have so many moisturizers. Probably you guys here in this room, women especially, right? You got moisturizer in your medicine cabinet, one in your car, one in your purse, one in your locker, most people have 10 different moisturizers and they're always looking for another one, right? Why is that when we have all these moisturizers? Because moisturizers, not only does dry skin have nothing to do with moisturizer, nothing to do with moisturizer, but check this out. I hear a dirty little secret about the skincare business. Moisturizers shut down your skin's natural production of moisture factors. The more moisturizer you use, the drier your skin will be. Nobody's going to tell you that because they want to sell you moisturizers. You ever notice it's really obvious with a chapstick, right? The more you use, the more you need because your lips and your skin make something called natural moisture factors. When you put a moisturizer on, your skin's like, well, they don't need any natural moisture factors. Apparently, we got plenty of moisturizer up there, and it stops making the natural moisture factor. And then your lotion wears off, your cream wears off, and now you don't have any more the natural stuff, so now you're really dry. So what do? You get some more moisturizer. And then you put it on, and suppresses the natural moisture factor further, and your lotion wears off, and now you're like, I hate Colorado. My skin is so dry in Colorado, because of course it's Colorado's fault, right? Oh, it's terrible in Colorado. I better get that super intense Vaseline moisturizer that the nice lady at the department store told me about. You put that on, of course, what happens? It suppresses your natural moisture factor, and now nothing helps. And nothing helps my dry skin. How many of you have said nothing helps my dry skin? I hear it all the time, nothing helps my dry skin. Because your skin is dry from inside out. It's dry because it's missing nutrients, and guess what? This is even worse. Your dry skin is telling you you're on the road to heart disease. Your dry skin is telling you you're on the road to deterioration and accelerated aging. It's not a cute, funny thing, and it's not a minor cosmetic issue. It's a red flag for a biochemical dysfunction and a nutritional deficiency that's underneath. And the most important nutritional deficiency that's linked with dry skin is essential fatty acids, EFAs. You'll know you have an EFA deficiency if you have dry skin. You'll also know that you have menstrual problems. Because essential fatty acids are not only anti-inflammatory, but they also have a female hormone-like effect. They benefit the female hormones, the estrogen system. So if you know somebody who's got endometriosis or lousy periods or fibroids or cysts or any kind of reproductive issue, get them on the ultimate EFAs. It's the single most important thing supplement you can take for inflammation, for any inflammatory issues. And then the third element, the third component of the Healthy Start Pack is the OsteoFX, and that's the magnesium and the vitamin D, both of which are incredibly, and calcium, incredibly important for all kinds of systems in the body. I study nutrition, but you can't really be involved in the health business without hearing about vitamin D. Almost every day something new comes out about vitamin D. Vitamin D is your happy vitamin. It's your vitamin of summertime. It's your vitamin of growth. Where do we get vitamin D from? Mostly. Sun, correct. Vitamin D comes from the sun, and the sun is out in the summertime, and from an evolutionary perspective, the sunshine and vitamin D were associated with growth, and with building, and with repair, and with the immune system. And all of these benefits accrue with vitamin D, yet vitamin D deficiency is one of the most common vitamin deficiencies there is because we're all afraid of the sun. Don't be afraid of the sun. Make sure you're getting some sun. Make sure you're laying out in the sun. And I'm talking without a sunscreen. I've been doing these talks for many years. I've been talking in the skincare world for people in the skincare business for many years. And for the last 30 years, since I first discovered how deadly toxic sunscreens were, deadly, like if you drink them, you would die. And when I used to have to work with them in the pharmacy, I had to wear gloves and a mask, that kind of deadly. And I've started telling people about sunscreens and how you want to avoid sunscreens for years. It would always happen. People would roll their eyes and they would say I was crazy and that's the silliest thing they ever heard. Did you speak last week about sunscreens? entering into the bloodstream. You don't need to wait for the newspaper to tell you that if you understand chemistry. And I saw that from a chemistry point of view. There's no way sunscreens can not enter into the body, and even worse, they pull the other things in from your skincare products and with them. The preservatives go into your bloodstream. The fragrances go into your bloodstream. The emulsifiers, all the molecules that build the cream go into your bloodstream more effectively when they're combined with sunscreen. So not only is the sunscreen toxing you out, but the stuff in the cream that the sunscreen is being delivered in are toxing you out more comprehensively when you have sunscreen as well. So get out in the sun and make sure you're doing your nutrients. What do you think the most important nutrients are for protecting the skin from the sun? They're important, but if you want to have one supplement to protect your skin, you want to go out in the sun and get your vitamin D, you want to lay out, but you don't want to ruin your skin, you don't want to burn, you don't want to have accelerated aging, get yourself on Occutive. What? Occutive, what is Occutive for?
Eyes.
What are the eyes? They're skin. They're the same tissue as your skin. It's not magical tissue, it's the same stuff. It's called epithelial tissue, by the way. And the same benefits that the Occutive gives your eyes from the sun, Occutive protects your eyes from the sun, you'll get on your skin. Nutrients that protect your eyes from the sun will protect your skin from the sun. And also, by the way, if you're going to be laying out in the sun, make sure you're doing pigments. Reds, blues, greens, oranges, purples, you get those from vegetables, of course. Making sure you're getting lots of your pigments. So your 3 products in the Healthy Start Pack do several things. Number 1, your clients are going to get better. Number 2, it's going to be very quick. Number 3, they're going to start to see, this is a Healthy Start Pack, this is the protocol you're going to do, they're going to start to see the results of their choices, and they're going to see you as an expert, and you're going to become vetted in their own healing process. And all of this is going to conspire to come together for them to see you as important. And that's what you're looking for in the business. You want to become valuable. If you're not making money, you haven't made yourself valuable. If you don't have the love of your life, you haven't made yourself valuable. If you don't have the job you want, you haven't made yourself valuable. It all boils down to value. And this is really what we're doing with longevity. And this is why longevity is successful. And this is why you're successful to the degree you're successful, is because you're bringing value to the equation. If you're new, how many people here are new? If you're new and you want a quick way to build a business, or even if you're not new and you want a quick way to build your business, make yourself an expert. Make yourself an expert in something you love. You may have your father passed away of Alzheimer's disease. Your mother may have cancer. Your kid may have a brain injury. Somebody may have diabetes in your family. You may have lost 100 pounds. Whatever it is, find something that you love and become an expert in it. The good news is you can become an expert in a week, relatively speaking. In the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. All right? Yeah. All right? So, most people don't know nothing about nothing. If you study Alzheimer's disease for a week, you become an Alzheimer's disease expert for most people. And then after 2 weeks, and 3 weeks, and 4 weeks, and 5 weeks of studying Alzheimer's disease every day for 5 minutes a day, for 10 minutes a day. But you're going to, because you love it so much, you're going to do it for more, but you can do it for 10 minutes a day. At the end of a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, you're going to become a national expert, and then a world expert if you do it long enough. It'll only take 10 minutes a day over the course of every day. And then you go to Vitamin Cottage or Natural Grocers. You can do it after a week. You hang a little sheet up that says, lecture on Alzheimer's disease, lecture on diabetes, lecture on acne. Whatever it is, you do it at the end of the week, you could do it. And you'll get people coming into Vitamin Cottage or to Whole Foods or whatever the church is that you motivate to set up. You don't have to sell them anything because they're going to come to see you as an expert. They're going to ask you questions. How do you do it? And you're going to become an expert. Eventually, and you already are relatively an expert, you know what that does? That makes you valuable. And that's how it is in any sales proposition. You want to figure out a way to make yourself valuable. And if you think this is just about business and the objective business, we're always selling. We're selling when we're at the bank. We're selling when we're at a gas station. We're selling when we're meeting people. The key to having a positive interaction is always to make yourself valuable. And this makes the world perfect because if everybody is doing that, everybody will be bringing value. The problems we have in the world is we're taking value instead of giving value. Everybody's going this way instead of coming this way. The key to having a successful business is to make somebody better. It's to up people's game. And this is why longevity is so beautiful to me. This is why you guys are so beautiful. It's because whether you know it or not, that's what gets you going. What gets you going is making somebody feel like they're healthier, making your loved ones feel like they're healthier. Has anybody ever given Beyonce and tangerine to somebody and just changed their life? How good does that feel? Or they get off all their medicine, you tell them a few things, and they get off their medicine. Isn't that awesome? That's what it's all about. So yes, the money's great. You can have a wonderful business and you can build a healthy downline, but at the end of the day, what really counts is the kind of value we bring to the table. How are we making the world a better place? What makes Longevity so beautiful to me is it's a platform. It's a platform for your goal of making the world a better place. It's a platform for your goal for helping improve lives. Yes, we have the best products, but you know what? The most important thing to me are the people. And the way the people present the message. That's the most beautiful thing about longevity. So don't ever feel like you don't know enough. Don't ever feel like you're not an expert. Don't ever feel like it's overwhelming to try to understand all the different supplements and all the different health challenges. Figure out, number one, what you can bring to the table, what you love. Number two, clean the pipes. Work on the basics, the digestive system, the food diary. Number three, get people on the Healthy Start Pack. Number four, most importantly, bring value. And that value, by the way, doesn't have to be just in terms of products. And it doesn't have to be just in terms of information. That value, the most important thing, the way I see it, the most important thing that you're going to bring to people, don't ever underestimate how important this is hope. That they can be better. That through following a certain series of steps, a certain sequence of processes that's tried and true that you will help them with, they can feel better. They can have more energy. They can live a longer life. And this is the gift that we bring to the table. This is the gift that I bring to the table every day through my radio show, through my businesses. This is the gift that you can bring to the table as well through longevity or even through your own personal life. All right? Is that good? You guys get a sense of what we're about here? You guys get a sense of how powerful this is going to be? So I wanted to leave about 15 minutes for some questions. I want you to have questions that involve a disease state and how we can use longevity products and the information that I told you about for resolving that condition. Try to stick to really frustrating health challenges that people have, that you may have, or that your loved ones may have. Yes, Glenn.
All right, so I understood you to say clean up the blood and disease problems. Does that also include the nutrition? I would assume it does.
First, you clean the blood. Because if the blood is dirty, and you try to put nutrients in it, you're not going to get the best benefits. You will still get benefits, but you want to clean the blood first. And that means working on the digestive system. And I didn't even tell you about a couple things about the digestive system in terms of supplements. Probiotics, the essence, the ultimate enzymes, apple cider vinegar, lecithin granules, biosalts. There's biosalts in the ultimate enzymes. And then one of my favorite products, Miriam brought to the table, is the IP26. Have you guys used that? That was wonderful for autoimmune diseases of the digestive system. So focus on the blood. This isn't so much sequence in terms of first the blood and then the Healthy Start Pack and then the nutrients. You kind of want to do them together, but the blood is the key. Making sure that you clean the blood. It's not so much a sequence that you clean the blood and then you wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before you go on the supplements. But the one thing you want to focus on first is the blood. Does that make sense? So it's not like a sequence. You're doing them all together. You're focusing on the blood first. Yes?
So my dad has Alzheimer's, and he has oxidized fat in
yes.
his skin.
Let's talk about Alzheimer's. Can we talk about Alzheimer's? Are you oxidized fat under the skin?
Under the skin.
Yeah.
So
Those all go together. The oxidized fat under the skin is something called lipofuscin. You heard of this? Have you heard of lipofuscin? So that's it's not just fat. It's dead. It's a cell particle. It's dying cells. It's very common as we age. You'll see people when they age, they got the brown, they call them sunspots. They're not sunspots. You know what I'm talking about? They look like the map of France, and they got little kind of like circular weird shapes and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's called lipofuscin. It's not the sun. Anyway, did you think it was the sun? Most people think it's the sun. It's not. The sun is a darker pigment that shows up on the face or in exposed areas. But this is called lipofuscin, and it's dead cells, and it goes part and parcel with degeneration. Did you guys see the latest news about a vaccine for Alzheimer's disease? They have a vaccine for it. It's supposedly going to keep the plaques from forming. One of the main ways that the body dies, one of the main ways that the body deteriorates is it turns to stone. That's how we die. We turn to stone. Now, I'm being a little metaphorical here, but only a little bit, because we get hard. Our body becomes fibrotic. And all diseases have this in common, fibrosis. Fibrosis, pulmonary fibrosis, cardiac fibrosis. There's actually a disease called amyloidosis. Ever hear of amyloidosis? Amyloidosis is a disease where you have lots of amyloid. The knuckleheads, the medical model, who examine Alzheimer's disease, excuse me, that wasn't nice. Sometimes these things just come out. I apologize. For that. So the well-meaning professionals, they will tell you that amyloid is responsible for Alzheimer's disease because when you have Alzheimer's disease with amyloid. But amyloidosis is a disease that can occur in joints, it can occur in various tissues of the body. Amyloid, how many of you guys have heard of this term amyloid? Amyloid is a fiber. Alzheimer's disease is fibrosis of the brain. Amyloid fibrosis of the brain. Fibrosis is the body's attempt to repair. Doc, is this making sense? You follow me here? You've got a medical doctor here, so just, I didn't mean to, I hope it was offensive. Okay, good. I didn't mean to be offensive. But it's nice when we have doctors listen to these things, right? I mean, this makes sense. Fibrosis is a repair mechanism. Fibrosis, amyloidosis, amyloid plaques in the brain represent the body's attempt to repair something. Something is breaking down. The idea of treating a condition that involves fibrosis or amyloidosis is not to stop the amyloid or the fibers, but to stop the deterioration that's causing the fibrosis. This is not hard to understand. This is just common sense. Don't let overthinkitis affect you. This is just common sense. So Alzheimer's disease, you've got to stop the deterioration of the neural tissue, the brain tissue. The most powerful deteriorator, offending agent of neural tissue or of any tissue is something we put in our bloodstream every day, multiple times a day. What is it?
Sugar.
Sugar. They call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes. Look it up. I'm not making that up. Alzheimer's disease is type 3 diabetes. It's a type of diabetes. So, are you with your dad? You see him?
Yeah.
Watch this. Does he like Coke? Does he like desserts? Does he like Pepsi? Does he like soda?
He loves that stuff.
Give him one day. Give him a whole bunch. Watch what happens. What do you think's going to happen? He won't get sick. He'll go crazy. He'll get delusional. He'll get hyper. You don't want that. Okay. Understandable. Understandable. Find somebody you don't like and tell them to do that. I'm just kidding. But it's a way for you to demonstrate to them, to your wife or your husband. If sometimes parents or relatives don't want you to treat the patient. They're the doctor has them just taking care of them. Just get them on a bunch of sugar and watch what happens. You'll see them bouncing off walls. Same with kids with ADD. Same with people who have bipolar issues, mania issues. You'll see it right before your eyes. So treat Alzheimer's disease as a digestive health problem. Now, the blood sugar problem. Now, guess what? Where do you think diabetes begins? In the gut. Absolutely. Diabetes is an intestinal issue first. All diseases backtrack to the gut. Now, by the time you've gone down the road of Alzheimer's disease, he's well into the deterioration, the degenerative process. So yeah, you want to work on the gut, but start with the sugar. And even before that, before you go into the sugar, there's 3 major points you want to work with. We talked about the digestive system. In the interest of time, I didn't tell you the other 2 points. But since you brought it up, the blood sugar system is the second point, and the third point is the stress system. Those are the 3 major points of the body that you need to focus on. The digestive system is first. I call this the triangle of disease. The triangle of disease are 3 points where the bodily breakdown occurs. The first point is the digestive system. The second point is the blood sugar system. And the third point is the stress management system. For maximum leverage, you want to work on the basic point, which is the digestive system. But by the time you've gone down the road in your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, and the body's well deteriorated, you can do good things at the other 2 points before you get into the digestive system. don't want to do these in order, like I was saying to Glenn, you're doing them all at the same time, but you're going to focus first on the digestive system if you can. With Alzheimer's, you can get some really amazing results by focusing on the third point of the triangle of disease. In fact, for everybody, you get some amazing results by focusing on the third point of the triangle of disease, which is the stress management system. You can hack into your body's stress management system by simple SDR breathing. And you can see this for yourself because the iconic marker of an activated stress system is your blood pressure. And we have a condition, especially 80 million people have elevated blood pressure. As soon as your stress management system goes off, you go into emergency mode, your blood pressure will start to rise. So you can see, you can do what's called biofeedback by actually monitoring your blood pressure as you do certain behaviors. And as you lower your blood pressure, you can assume that you're lowering your stress response. The stress response will calm down in response to things that you do to lower your blood pressure. The first thing is SDR breathing. How many of you guys have a blood pressure cuff? Take your blood pressure cuff tonight, take your blood pressure, sit on the couch and do SDR breathing. I'll tell you this in a second, for 5 minutes, and then watch what happens to your blood pressure. Guaranteed it's going to drop faster than any antihypertensive that you can get. It will drop in seconds with no toxicity and no side effects, and that's your assurance that you start to calm the stress management system down. SDR stands for slow, deep, rhythmic. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. Slow, the body loves slow. Slow relaxes things. Slow makes you happy. That's why they do Tai Chi. You see how they do Tai Chi? Slow. Slow always makes you happy. If you're stressed out about anything, start moving slowly. Do you ever watch commercials for food? They have the food, the syrup drips down the pancake very slowly. Right? Watch it the next time. They call this food porn, by the way. That's called food porn, right? They all the chocolate syrup squeezes out very slowly. You're watching it, and you're going into alpha state. Your brain waves are slowing down, and you feel really comfortable. Guess what? In this state, you're very suggestible too. So you're very suggestible. So I love McDonald's. That's how you feel. That's how your brain feels. If you have a baby, when your baby's falling asleep, he's actually going into this alpha state. Really cool brainwave state, and you can implant success messages to your baby while he's going into alpha state, while the baby is falling asleep. So for your grandbaby, to give them success messages, love messages, security messages as the baby is falling asleep. The body loves moving slow. We have a culture where we're moving really fast. We're told to move really fast. The body hates that. So the body, that represents an emergency because when the muscles are moving fast, the brain says there must be a tiger somewhere. It's like, that's what it's reading. It's reading the muscles. When it's moving really slow, the brain says, oh, everything must be okay. Same thing with the depth. You actually have relaxation receptors in the bottom of your diaphragm. You have relaxation receptors that will relax your muscles when these receptors get activated by your diaphragm going down nice and low. I'm sorry, nice and high. Or nice and low. Actually. When you breathe in, your diaphragm goes nice and low and it fills up. The slower it is, the deeper it is, the more likely you are to activate these relaxation receptors. You also have relaxation receptors at the top of your nose, which is why when you're breathing, you want to breathe through your nose, in through your nose. And as you're breathing deeply in through your nose, you'll feel relaxation receptors in the top, wherever your third eye is, by the way. Ironically or interestingly, you have these relaxation receptors in the bottom of your diaphragm and in the third eye area. When you're breathing, you're activating these relaxation receptors. And third of all is the rhythm. Body loves slow and it loves rhythm. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. You do it for 5 minutes. I guarantee you're going to fall asleep if you have insomnia. Insomnia is caused by an inability to activate the relaxation nervous system. The relaxation nervous system regulates healing. The relaxation nervous system regulates digestion. The relaxation nervous system regulates the circulatory system. It regulates the immune system. It regulates the sex system. It regulates the creativity in your brain. All the signs of disease are equal to the signs of an activated stress nervous system. High blood pressure, depression, heart disease, immune problems, skin issues, Alzheimer's disease. All deterioration is preceded by activated stress nervous system, which itself is preceded by blood sugar issues, which itself is preceded by the digestive system. So first, I say first, focus on the digestive system, the blood sugar system, and the relaxation nervous system. Is this worth the price of admission, by the way? There's some good stuff here, absolutely. You know, it's anxiety is a real big problem, right? Do you know what anxiety is? Anxiety is when your brain is spinning around, but you're not doing anything. The opposite of anxiety, the cure for anxiety, is action. It's doing something. So if you lie in bed and you feel anxious and you can't, and you have anxiety about your job, or you have anxiety about your money, or you have anxiety about your relationship, do something. It will cure your anxiety. And to the extent that you're doing something. Notice it the next time you have anxiety, and your brain's spinning, but you can't do it. It's like a machine where the gears are turning, but they're not engaging. That's what anxiety is. Engage the gears, get the wheels going, you'll go somewhere and take care of your anxiety. I like to share my dad talking about that, but it's good stuff. So Alzheimer's, I focus on the blood sugar, and then if you want to do the relaxation response, and then the digestive system. Okay, give me one more. Is that my clock here?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do one more.
I have a friend with progressive leukemia.
Okay, so leukemia, I'm glad you brought that up. Cancer. Let's talk about cancer. No cure for cancer. Obviously, it's almost like a death sentence. If you have a cancer patient, your goal, or if you have cancer, God forbid, your goal is to feel better. Forget the diagnosis. There's plenty of people who die and they had cancer, and they were never even diagnosed. They find it after they die. Cancer remits. Get a book called, if you know anything about cancer, get a book called Spontaneous Remissions. It's a textbook, and it's got hundreds of cases of cancers remitting. Or Google New York Times, and this is an article I read in the New York Times a few years ago, and it's on the internet. Google New York Times, cancer disappears. And it's an article that talks all about how cancer just comes and goes all the time. Cancer is a sign of duress. It's a sign that the cells are so freaked out they don't know what to do. And by the way, leukemia is a blood cancer, but nobody has blood cancer. Nobody has breast cancer. Nobody has liver cancer. Nobody has skin cancer. Nobody has ovarian cancer. She's like, what? Is everybody thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Nobody has lung cancer. Is anybody thinking that? What is he doing? Say that again? Okay, so nobody has kidney cancer. Your husband doesn't have kidney cancer. And they want you to think he has kidney cancer because you can't do anything about kidney cancer. But what he has is kidney cell cancer. He has people have breast cell cancer. They have skin cell cancer. They have liver cell cancer. What does this tell you? The problem isn't the kidney. The problem is the cell. The reason the doctors don't talk about the cells is because they can't do anything. The cell is not going to take the doctor's medicine unless it's overwhelmed with poison. The cell is like, get Satan behind me. Do not come near me. I don't want anything to do with you. So we never hear about the cell. So when you have cancer, you've got to start focusing on the cell. A cancer cell is a cell that is so frustrated, it doesn't know what to do. This is what a cancer cell is, literally, not exaggerating. You have two kinds of cells. There's ancient cells that first existed when cells first came about 3.5 billion years. Then you have modern high-tech cells. The modern high-tech cells are a relative advance over the primitive cells. The primitive cells are called pro means early, prokaryotes, and the advanced cells are called eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are germs, bacteria, funguses. Eukaryotes are human cells, animal cells, plant cells. And by the way, plant cells, human cells, dog cells, squirrel cells, all these cells of these advanced animals are basically, they're very similar. I'll say they're the same, but they're very, very similar. Your bacterial cells are different from your advanced cells. Your bacterial cells do something that, or your advanced cells do something that the bacterial cells don't do. Do a lot of things. One of the things they do is they give up themselves to create a body, to create organs, so that liver cells will all gather together and lose their independence to become a liver, or a lung, or a breast. They'll get together like a community and they'll lose their independence. That is, and they love doing it. They love doing it for us. Can you picture this now? The cell, it's, you know what, I'm going to give up on myself so I can become part of the community, so I can be part of the liver. And in our body, we literally have, if you can imagine this, 50 to 100 trillion cells that have given up of themselves so that we can exist. That's really quite an amazing thing when you think about it, right? Now, This is a great gift that the cell gives us, and all it asks in return is to be loved, to be taken care of, with food, with oxygen, with a clean place to do its work. Pretty much. The nutrients. And by the way, the menu that a cell eats from is called the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. That's what the Mighty 90 is. It's the menu that a cell eats from. Oxygen, and a clean place to do its work. But over the course of time, as the poisons accumulate in the blood, and the cells become starved of oxygen, and starved of nutrition, and toxic with acid wastes and with sugar, the cell, which was so good and so loving and so kind to give up of itself to become a kidney, says, screw you. I'm not going to be a kidney anymore. I just asked for a little food, a little nourishment, a clean place to do my business. You can't give me that. I'm going to go, I'm not going to be a kidney anymore. I'm just going to start dividing. I'm going to go my own way, and I'm going to divide. That's called cancer. A cancer cell is a cell that has not gotten what it needs for so long. It is now flipped back into being a prokaryote, into being a primitive cell, into being a cell that doesn't care about the community any longer, sociopath. And what we do, we kill that cell. We extract that cell, we remove that cell, we punish that cell. That's how we treat it. That's how we treat ourselves. That's how we treat our body. No wonder chemotherapy is so horrible, it's because we're killing our cell. That cell is us. Yeah, it might be rogue, but it's us. It's our child. So what we have to do when we have leukemia, kidney cancer, or any other cancer is you have to be loving to the cell. And you're loving to the cell in many ways. From a physical perspective, we just talked about it. You're loving to the cell by giving it 90. You're loving to the cell by giving it oxygen to do its work. You're loving to the cell by keeping the environment clean, by eliminating the toxicity that's getting into the blood. It's the same thing somebody with arthritis has to do. It's the same thing your dad has to do. It's the same thing even if you're healthy, you have to do it. You've got to be loving to the cell. Now, I didn't tell you this part, but I'm going to say it now because it's really important. You have to be loving the cell on all levels. You have to be loving to the cell in terms of its food, its 90, its oxygen, keeping the environment clean, but you have to be loving to the cell emotionally. You have to be loving to your cell, to yourself. You have to be thinking loving thoughts. Don't underestimate that. That's not airy-fairy. That's biochemistry. When you think loving thoughts, your cortisol drops, your serotonin goes up, your oxytocin goes up, your immune system gets strong. When you're enraged, the opposite happens. And you're loving to yourself emotionally, and you have to be loving to yourself physically or mentally as well. So you have to be feeling loving thoughts, and you have to be feeling loving feelings, and be thinking loving thoughts. And then you have to be connected to yourself spiritually as well. Connected to yourself or to God spiritually as well. Whatever that is, I don't want to get into the whole spiritual thing, but you have to be connected to the universe at large. This is when the fear response, the primal fear response is activated. And we know that we all have a primal fear response. And guess what? We are so good at burying this primal fear response that at the top of it, we're sick and we have no idea why. Or life doesn't work and we have no idea why. Or we're addicted and we have no idea why. We're trying to quit our opium and our cigarettes and alcohol and we can't because guess what? Underneath it all is this primal terror that is freaking us out from the moment we came out of the womb. And if you get into a real bind, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go into a fetal position because you want to go back into the womb. Because that's where the primal terror comes from. And if you think you don't have that primal terror, think about something you're addicted to, and it can be something as simple as food, okay? Cigarettes, alcohol, booze, pills. Think about it, okay? Now, pretend you can never have that again. Just pretend. Can you feel terror starting to come up? Terror. If you let it come up long enough, it will be so freaking horrifying, you will go right to McDonald's, like now. And that's why we can't quit ours. That's why no addictive therapies work unless you have to muscle through it, like AA. We have to go every freaking day, and they have to drill it in your head. Because underneath it all is this primal fear, this primal terror that fuels everything. And if we don't recognize it, it will kill us. But before it kills us, it will rot us. But here's the good news. You don't have to feel the primal terror. You just have to recognize it. You just have to acknowledge it. You just have to look at it because at the end of the day, that primal terror is a baby. It's you. as a baby. It's your inner baby, and all it wants, like any baby, is to be acknowledged and to be recognized and to be told it's safe. And that's why we're here in this church, and I always get a kick out of the Christian idea. I love, Christ is an awesome model for me, and I consider myself a Christian, but the Christian faith always tells you about being saved, right? You have to be safe. Safe. Jesus doesn't save, he makes you safe. We have to recognize our inherent safety. And that's the key. And when I talk about bringing value, talk about earlier about bringing value, guess what that's about? That's about helping somebody feel safe. When I talk about bringing hope, what's that about? That's about helping somebody feel safe. When I talk about sharing Beyond Tanking Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack, and talking to people about whatever disease state they may have that you're an expert in, what am I talking about? Helping people feel safe. And that's ultimately what it's all about. So wherever you go, even if it's just to the store, smile at somebody, help them feel safe. You'll raise the frequency, you'll raise the vibration, your oxytocin and serotonin will go up, your cortisol will drop. Don't forget to think good thoughts. Don't forget to feel good feelings. Get yourself in a Healthy Start Pack, do a food diary. It's really not good. Thank you guys very much.